You are sentient, aware, conscious. The body is insentient, not aware, not conscious. It might immediately sound controversial, but no, that's not true. You look at your own experience. A psychologist in New York, Greg Good, suggested this experiment to prove this point. Look at your hand right now. Right now, try it. Carefully note the nature of this experience. What is this experience like? Does it feel like I am looking at my hand, or does it feel like my hand is looking at me? That would be scary, like a horror movie or science fiction movie. You know, the hand, yeah, you can put your hand down. Now it would be like the hand says, hello, I'm here. No. You always, look at it, it's common, but it's something we never pay attention to. Always the feeling is, I am looking at the hand. I am aware of the hand. Look at the language. I am aware of the hand, not the other way around. The hand is not aware of me. You will say, so, do it for the other hand. Do it for the legs, the belly, the chest, the head. Every part of your body is something that you are aware of. It's not aware of you. And the body is what? Composed of all these parts. So you are something which is aware of the body. Awareness is on your side, not on the side of the body. Did you follow the train of argument? It's simple. Yeah, some of you do. I can see the smiles coming on your face. It's simple, elegant, and powerful. Whatever you think of yourself as, you think of that as aware. In fact, when we think of ourselves as the body, we think of the body being aware. But when you begin to see the body is the object and I'm aware of it, clearly awareness is on my side. I am the aware entity and the body is something I'm aware of. This argument is different from the earlier one. The earlier argument was seer and seen, experiencer and experienced. Two have to be different. Here the argument is awareness and non-awareness. There are no good words in English. In Sanskrit, it's very clear. Chit, jara. Jara, chit, jara. Jara means inert, insentient. And chit means consciousness. I am conscious. Clearly, if you are wondering, am I conscious? That very fact proves that you are conscious. If you are wondering at all. Poor old Descartes, who set out to doubt whatever he could doubt. And what is the one thing that you could not doubt? His own, why could he not doubt himself? Because he is aware. He said, I think, therefore I am. Cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. He could not doubt that he was thinking. Why? Even to doubt it is also a thought. Right? So, I am conscious. I am sentient. I am aware. Clearly. Even if I doubt that, still it's awareness which is doubting it. And the body is something that I am aware of. It's not aware. So I've given you three arguments. In Sanskrit, in English, permanent, changing, nitya, nitya. Body changing, I am permanent. As far as this body is concerned. The two cannot be the same. I am the experiencer and the body is the experienced. Seer and seen. The two cannot be the same. I am aware and the body is not aware. The two cannot be the same. In Sanskrit, nitya nitya, drashta drishya, chit jara in Sanskrit. Because of these reasons, I cannot be the body. Ashtavakra says that. I cannot be the body. I am something apart from the body. He does not mean only the physical body. These very arguments apply equally powerfully to the mind also. Mind in Sanskrit is called Sukshma Sharira, subtle body. What is it composed of? Thoughts, emotions, perceptions, memories, ideas, desires, anger, hatred, lust, greed, love, unselfishness, all of these good qualities and bad qualities, virtues and vices. The personality, that's the mind. Often we identify ourselves, grown-up people, educated people, sensitive people, we identify ourselves more with the mind than the body. We tend to feel we are embodied beings. We are this person in this body. That's what we normally feel. But we are not even the person. You're not even the mind. In fact, the very word person, it means a mask. The root of the word person is persona, which were like masks worn by ancient Greek actors on the stage. They would have this, they didn't have mics, so they would have this big masks with a big hole in front through which they could speak their lines. Sona means sound, persona, through which the sound comes. It was a mask. What we think of ourselves as this person, literally the word person means mask. It's not you, it's a mask you put on. How do I know that? I identify myself totally with the person. The same arguments, changing and unchanging. Does the mind change? You say, oh boy, does it change? Thousands of thoughts fleeting. The body changes glacially. It's like comparing a fast-flowing river with a glacier. The mind changes so fast. From the morning till now, how many times you've been happy, elated, how many times irritated, annoyed, how many times dull, how many times, after a cup of coffee, alert and excited, how many times curious, how many times bored, desiring, fulfilled, hungered, nice breakfast, satiated. All those thoughts and feelings have come and gone in the mind, and they're going through the mind right now. Even the ego, I, the feeling I, that's also the mind. It's also the mind. Changing, unchanging. You are the one who was happy. You are the one who was irritated. You are the one who remembered. You are the one who could not remember. All of these feelings, memory, understanding, not understanding, they come and go. That's the mind. And you are the unchanging experiencer of a changing mind. Changing and unchanging. You cannot be the mind. Seer and seen, drashta drishya, applies to the mind also. Are you aware of your thoughts? Yes. When you feel happy, are you aware of your happiness? Of course. Otherwise, how could I say that I'm very happy but I don't feel it? That's crazy. You can't say that. There's a terrible pain. Are you in pain? No, I don't feel it, but there's a terrible pain. No. You are the experiencer, and the mind is something that is experienced. The two must be different. Just as this book is different from the I, seer and seen, you, whatever you are, must be different from the mind. Here comes a great teaching. I am not the mind. The mind is there. Don't worry, it won't go away anywhere. But I am not the mind. We are compulsive thinkers. Most of our problems are because of compulsive thinking. Modern educated persons living in an advanced country, prosperous, good life, and you might think, no, you don't understand. Swami, my life is pretty hard. All right, but not as hard as, say, yesterday we were hearing how the original settlers of Sedona, how they struggled and lived and died here, constructing those roads. And so, we think, somebody pointed out, why, it's interesting why many people who kill themselves, tragically commit suicide, they shoot themselves in the head, because to make that voice stop. Compulsive thinkers. It's like, if I have a hand, do I have to grab everything? No. I will use my hands when I have to, and when I don't have to, they'll remain quiet. Just because I have legs, do I have to continuously run around? No. It reminds me of the old Charlie Chaplin movie, where I think modern times, where he got a job in a factory, and his all day long, all his job was he had a wrench and he had to tighten a couple of screws on the machine which came on a conveyor belt in front. So throughout the day he went on doing this. Hour after hour, just this. And so when it stopped and lunch break was there, he couldn't stop. He kept on doing this all the time. And the foreman came to scold him. The big guy who was yelling at Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin just catches the guy's nose and tweaks it like that. He can't stop it. We have become like that. We can't stop our minds. It's compulsive thinking. One big reason why? Because we think we are the mind. If the mind stops, then I'm not there. No, you are there. You're exactly what you were when the mind was the mind of a kindergarten kid, when the mind was the mind of a teenager, when the mind was the mind of a young man or woman, and the mind now. All of that is the mind. You are the same all throughout. You're not the mind. Mind will be there. It will do its work. But you are not the mind. Because you are the experiencer and the mind is experienced. And the next one is even more startling. The third argument, you remember? I am conscious, sentient, and the body is insentient, not conscious. We saw the hand experiment. Even the mind is not sentient. Mind is not conscious. This is quite stunning to most people, because what we think of, if anything is conscious in the world, it's the mind. And the reason is because the light of consciousness pervades the mind and everything in the mind shines in awareness. That's why we think the mind is conscious. No. The mind is not conscious. You are conscious. The room doesn't have light. It's the sun or the electric bulb which has light. The room is lit up by that. The light pervades the room. Similarly, you, the consciousness, pervade the mind, illumine the thoughts, feelings, emotions, ideas, memories, and they seem conscious. But they are not. You want me to prove it? Very simple, very elegant proof. Think a thought. Swami, nothing is coming to my mind. Alright, let me give you a simple thought. Rose is red. 2 plus 2 is 4. Think it. And let me ask you a question. Hold on to that thought. 2 plus 2 is 4, or a rose is red. Are you aware of 2 plus 2, 4, or is 2 plus 2, 4 aware of you? Very simple. You are aware of 2 plus 2, 4. Who is thinking the thought? You are. The thought is not thinking you. 2 plus 2, 4 is a thought. It's an idea, a piece of knowledge. It's lit up by you. So thoughts are not conscious in themselves. You are conscious. Thoughts come and go in your light. Yeah, I can see some of you beginning to nod. Yes, it's a very simple fact. But we don't pay attention to it. You are consciousness. And you are conscious of the mind. Because you are unchanging and the mind is changing, you cannot be the mind. Because you are the experiencer and the mind is experienced, you cannot be the mind. Because you are consciousness and the mind is something that you are conscious of. It is not consciousness, you cannot be the mind. Ashtavakra says, Yadi deham prithakritya. Yes, getting goosebumps somewhere. Yes. At least some are with me. Are you with me? Are you following this? Yes?
Yes.
Always, Vedanta teachers ask 3 things. Did you hear what I said? Yes. So that you can at least, if not, in the traditional Vedanta schools, you would be made to memorize the verses. Even if you don't memorize, you can at least paraphrase. You say, okay, this is what you said. Number 1. Number 2, did you understand what I said? Understand intellectually? Yes, I have understood. Number 3, not only understanding, is it a fact for you now? It should be. It's a fact. I see it. Yeah, it's a fact. Now I'm going to take you into one more thing which can be very unsettling. The I, the ego, that's what we identify ourselves most as. Ego is also a function of the mind. If I'm not the mind, then I'm not the ego either. I will demonstrate to you directly, right now, what you call the I. You are not even that. Not the horizontal eyes, the vertical eye. I am not even the I. Are you ready? Okay, let's see this. Let's do it. It's not Ashtavakra, it's Greg Good, the New York psychologist, who devised this experiment. It's very interesting. Just sit relaxed, not sleepy, straight but not rigid. Now I'm going to ask you questions and locate it within yourself. You just do the experiment for yourself. Mentally say to yourself, I. Mentally, I. And there will be a place. Keep your eyes open. You have to look at me. The other eyes, keep them open. There will be a place where it feels like, most like I. I will help you to locate it. That's what Greg Good did. So the experiment is like this. I'm going to ask you a question. I. Where is this I? Is it, draw a line through your waist, horizontal to the ground. Line through your waist mentally. The I that you feel, I. Is it above the line or below the line? Above. It would be a very weird person who says, my ego is in the knees.
They're shocked.
You might say, you might say the knees hurt, but I am not the knees. Above. Just about everybody will say it's above the waist, the eye. Okay. Draw one more line parallel to the ground mentally through your chest, about this high. And see, eye. Is it above this line or below this line? Above, yes. Again, most persons would say above. Then draw one more line like this through the neck mentally. Eye. Is it above this line in the neck or below the line in the neck, the eye? Yeah, most people would say that, but at this point, a few do say, I feel it here more. That's also all right. But let's say most people say, I feel the eye above, mostly in the head. And there are good reasons for that. You know what the reasons are? Because a lot of nerve endings are here, most of our sense organs are here, and so we feel a location of awareness here mostly. That's fine. But let's go on with this. There's a point. You feel the eye somewhere in the head region, most of us. Now draw two parallel lines, vertical lines, one through here, one through here. Where is the eye? On this side of the head, or that side of the head, or here, inside somewhere? Somewhere, right on top. Some say right here. Some say somewhere behind the eyes. Right? Something like that you will feel. Narrow down on it. It's here, somewhere, the eye. You will get a vague location. Some people have an even more sharp perception, like a walnut or something there, in there somewhere. That's where the eye is most evident. It feels it's something there. Okay, now the real question. If the eye is something there, who is it perceiving that eye there? I'll repeat the question. I am here. Okay, I'm getting it. What awareness, what is it that says that I am here? To that awareness, even this I is an object. Just as this is an object, the head is an object, the I is also a feeling, an object, an operation of the mind, being objectified by some awareness behind it. Some of you are getting it. Many are, I can see it, right? My point here is, you are not even the I. You are that which sees the I. Yadi deham prithakritya. If you can see yourself as not the body, slowly, little by little. If I am not the body, then what am I? That awareness which cannot be objectified, to which everything else is an object. The world is an object, the body is an object, the mind is an object, even the ego is an object. To that awareness, you can never objectify it. You can never bring it forward. It's like somebody looking at something through a flashlight and wants to see the source of the flashlight. The more you turn it around, it's behind that. So in the same way, this consciousness, do not try to objectify it. Do not try to catch it. It's the real you. In Sanskrit, there are different names for it. Chit, pure consciousness. Pure not in the sense that it's a good consciousness without impure thoughts. Both pure thoughts and impure thoughts, good thoughts and bad thoughts, are illumined. They are objects for this light. It is pure in the sense it is contentless. When consciousness plus a thought come together, that's an experience. Consciousness by itself is like pure light, which reveals. The Upanishad puts it very beautifully. That shining, all else shines. By its light is everything lit up. What lights up this room? You'll say, look at this, Swami, the bulb here, the electric light here. Really? Suppose you were not here. Would you still have the experience of a well-lit room? No. The bulb lights up the room, but the light of that light is you, the awareness. This is the phrase which is used in Vedanta, light of light. Consciousness is the light, material light, and consciousness is the light of that. Because material light can reveal everything and itself also only to you, the awareness. Right? Could you close that door? It's open, yeah. That light of lights, consciousness. That shining, everything else shines. In beautiful Sanskrit, tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. By its light, everything is lit up. Tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. So you shining, you the consciousness shining, everything else shines. I'm not being poetic here. Literally, this is a statement of what's happening in your life. You, the consciousness shining, your thoughts are revealed. Your thoughts reveal the body and its senses. And the body and the senses reveal the world to you. All through lit up by you, the consciousness. Imagine, the world is there. I can see it. I close my eyes. You close your eyes now, let me ask you. You can't see the world outside, right? Are you still there? Yeah. Is it still a kind of an experience? An experience of not seeing? But suppose that consciousness itself were not there. What experience would remain? That awareness which sees the world, now does not see the world, sees darkness. Suppose that awareness itself were not there. World is there, body is there, mind is there, everything is there. If that awareness is not there, what would remain? For you, subjectively? Nothing. It would disappear into a void immediately. You shining, everything else shines. By your light is everything lit up. That awareness. If you have followed what I am saying, it's no longer hypothetical. It's no longer philosophy, speculation. I have pointed it out to you. I haven't, Ashtavakra has. Now what remains? Note that every problem is in the body. Every problem is in the mind. That awareness has no problem at all. That consciousness has no problem at all. Never had, never will have. Logically, if there is a problem with the consciousness, are you aware of it or not? If you are aware of it, then it's not in consciousness, it's an object of consciousness. A beautiful story in how they illustrate it in the Himalayas by the monks. There's a story. A person goes up to a Swami, a monk in the mountains, and like in Manhattan, they would go to their therapist. Swami, I am suffering. I am in pain. I am suffering. And the Swami says to him, are you aware of your suffering? Are you? Now you know where the Swami is going. Are you aware of your suffering? He said, of course I am aware of my suffering. That's why I have come to you. I am feeling the pain. That's why I have come to you. If you are feeling the pain, if you are aware of the pain, if you are aware of the suffering, then you are the consciousness which is aware of the suffering. You cannot be suffering. It's an object to your consciousness. Just as this is an object I see, I am not the book. Similarly, this is an object I see, the shirt, I am not the shirt. This body is an object I see, therefore I am not the body. The pain in the body, if somebody pinches me, the pain there, that's clearly an object which is different from me. So I, the consciousness, am not in pain. I am the pain is not denied, but the pain, I am that which reveals the pain. This person, but this is not the end of the story. The punchline comes next. This person goes, thinks about it. If you do that, you know what happens? A slight space opens up between you and your experience. The object of experience. Between you and your pain. A slight space opens up. It could be physical pain, it could be emotional pain, mental pain, trauma, but a space opens up between you and that. You see, I am not it. It's there, but I am not it. The moment that opens up, you sense a freedom, a lightness, like a burden off you. Whether it is illness, whether it is emotional suffering, mental suffering, just existential angst, whatever it is, I am not it. It is an experience. I am the experiencer. It is changing. I am the unchanging. It is an object. I am the subject. I am consciousness. It is inert. I cannot be it. You feel a relief. And this man also felt such a relief. He came back to the monk and said, Swami, you are right. I am not suffering. I am so peaceful now. And immediately the Swami scolded him. See, you are not peaceful. You are the witness of the peace in your mind. A very great teaching there, because the mind is so subtle, we tend to fall into its trap again and again. Moment the mind becomes calm, oh, it's an object. I am not the pain, I am not the suffering. As a result, you will see the suffering itself will go away. Most of our suffering is psychological. It will itself diminish. Even the physical pain will diminish and will become manageable if you do that. But the moment it happens, you fall into the next trap. The mind is, so it's so peaceful, I am peaceful now. That's also a feeling. That's the mind being peaceful. If that man has thought, I am peaceful, what will happen to him the moment he goes back from the mountains to, say, Delhi and hits the traffic there? People in the United States say that LA has the worst traffic in the country, Manhattan has the worst traffic. Well, they haven't seen Delhi traffic. Recently there was some tension between China and India, and some Chinese news agency sort of threateningly said, don't you know we are so powerful that the Chinese army can be in New Delhi in 24 hours or something like that. And somebody in the news media in India, they quipped back, they said, that's impossible because Delhi is heavily defended on all sides by traffic. And the man, when he gets trapped in traffic, he would say, oh, I was so peaceful in the Himalayas and now I'm so miserable here. That's the mind. It's the mind which is peaceful. It's the mind which is disturbed. Ashtavakra says, you are not peaceful or disturbed. You are peace itself. Nothing can touch you. That consciousness you are. And what does he say? Chiti vishramya tishtasi. Next word is, each word is valuable. Tishtasi in Sanskrit means stay there. Stabilize. Now you know, but still it won't help. It will evaporate like ice if you put it out there in the hot sun. This knowledge. Then you will say, Swami, it works sometimes when I listen to the lecture, when I meditate and when I read the book. It works for a while, but then it goes away again. When I'm at home or in my job or struggling to make a living, then this knowledge is not giving me peace. Why? Because again, it's there. You are still that consciousness, absolutely at peace, undisturbed, undisturbable. But what happens is you get caught up with the mind again. So he says, tishtasi, stay with it, marinate in it, soak it in. More you do it quietly, the more you will be able to do it in active life. Complete serenity within and a life of action outside. It's possible. That's the teaching. You can live your life, be an artist, a corporate executive, a mom, a student, whatever. Whatever you do in life. And be completely serene within. You're all right. You are the infinity itself. You can neither be increased nor be decreased by anything in life.